Hello, my friend. Welcome to today's video. Now, this is a video that I get requested all the time. It's some version of, would you consider doing just a video all about your crystals? Or can you do a crystal show and tell? Can you tell us all the healing properties of crystals? Things like that. This is a little rose and geranium oil. So, it's nice. Welcome. If you are new here, my name is Anna. I'm a Reiki Master Practitioner. I love crystals, and I think that they are an incredible tool that we can use to unblock our energy, give us focus, support us, soothe us, comfort us. And I have a small collection of my crystals. I have a lot more, but I'm just going to start out with a few here that I think you might enjoy. So, yeah, sit back, relax. This is going to be a little different from our usual scheduled programming of doing Reiki sessions for the collective. And I'm just going to chat you through some of the crystals that I have. Some of you have asked me how I store my crystals. And when I was not creating videos, just had a collection of crystals, I stored them very differently than I do now, but because I use them and they're in and out and stuff like that, I tend to have a handful of them I have them in a bag, and then I have some of them out. In this little wooden tray, which is very heavy. Okay, so I'm just gonna move some things around and get all situated, and then we can start. So the first stone that I wanted to share with you and chat about is this Angelite. Angelite is a really soothing stone. When I create anything that has to do with sleep or relaxation, Angelite is usually on the docket for stones I'm going to be turning to. It's a great stone for anxiety relief. It's a great stone for dealing with stress. It's almost like it's that kind of beautiful clear blue that is reminiscent of just the sky on a clear day. It's a beautiful stone. I really enjoy stones that have kind of the rougher exterior, so that you can see that juxtaposed to the beauty within. I think it's nice to see them polished. I like stones that you can kind of stand up as a little statue. And that kind of opens up my imagination when I see how rough the stone looks, but then how beautiful it is on the inside. And there's beauty in the roughness too, obviously. But Angelite is also a great stone for connecting with psychic abilities or psychic properties, connecting with our angel guides. So if you are in a place in your spiritual journey where you're starting to kind of maybe connect with your ancestors, calling in some female energy, when you're doing a women's circle, very often we're calling in the energy of our mothers and our grandmothers and things like that. So something like an Angelite would be great and really supportive for that. So it's a beautiful stone, soothing stone, calming stone, helps us connect to our psychic powers and abilities. And it's a great stone for sleep. So that's Angelite. Beautiful. Next up, a great pairing for Angelite, we have Celestite. This is a gorgeous, very gemmy stone. It's cubic in nature, similar to fluorite, forms these little cubic clusters, and that's really what helps with the sparkles, because it's a series of faces on these individual stones that catch the light and reflect it in different directions, which gives it this really shimmery, glittery quality. So it's another great stone for sleep. If I'm doing a sleep shift session, I'm probably going to use Celestite. And with any stone, what the properties that it has and how it works with you, it could shift. So it really is a personal thing. When we are working with stones and any esoteric tools, something that's helpful is just to remember how valuable our intuition is, following our third eye, following our sacral, following our intuition and our gut, and just saying, okay, what feels good, what feels right? And for me, Celestite is probably up there with Howlite in terms of sleep healing. When I use some other stones that are associated with sleep healing, sometimes they can actually activate me. And I know some of you have that experience as well. For me, it's blue calcite I find very activating. I have it right here. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But the two stones that I turn to time and time again are Howlite and Celestite for sleep. Very often I'll use Angelite as well for sleep in my personal practice. But Celestite is great for connecting with our higher awareness, connecting with our higher consciousness. It's really great if you wanted to visualize, if there's something in your life that you're really trying to manifest and you want to visualize this, you could hold the Celestite, whether you have a cluster like this, or even if you just have an individual Celestite, like a little Celestite cube. Just holding that, you can place it on your third eye, and just get really clear about what it is that you want to call in your life. It's great for mindfulness. It's very soothing. So for me, number one, for sleep, quieting the mind, and really just soothing. It's a very soothing, gentle energy. Not to mention, it's such a gorgeous stone. I think if I see Amethyst or Celestite in an esoteric shop or like a gem show or something like that, I'm drawn to it like a magnet. I just think it's so gorgeous. And again, this one has that rough exterior. And I don't know why, but it sets my imagination afire. How if you could overlook this in nature and not see its beauty and not see how much there is to offer from this stone, you could really overlook it. And it's that, well, don't judge a book by its cover thing, but don't judge a rock by its roughness. Because there's such beauty and support and healing within. It's a gorgeous stone. Definitely one I would recommend in your spiritual journey. And here we have our Labradorite. This is a beautiful stone. I'm really grateful that I found this at the gem show that I was at recently, because I just think it's so stunning. Again, it's one that's self-standing, so that's really gorgeous. Showing Labradorite in videos with this medium is kind of challenging sometimes, because the flashes are really dependent on the lighting, and if the lighting is too strong or if it's not strong enough, it can impact the way that you see it, the way the flashes come across. But this Labradorite has most Labradorite has very electric colored flashes, and this one has yellow, orange, red, purple, electric blue, light blue, a deep blue, green all throughout, pink. And the stone itself is this kind of smoky, gray, black, gray, green, black, brown, that kind of thing. And there are these little cuts in it. They look like little fractures or cracks. Even when you have polished Labradorite. And these cracks are so beautiful. They give it a real feeling of weight. Helps you connect with the age of the stone, you know. It's just beautiful. I just think I could look at a Labradorite forever and just find those flashes. And for me, those flashes are really an indication of the magical properties of the stone. They help us to connect with how magical these stones are. I don't know if you can see out the flashes, but it's so beautiful. You know, Labradorite is great for manifestation. It helps us to get really clear about what we want, and it helps to open up our inner magic, our personal magic, so that it helps to speed up manifestation. It can connect us to our dream state, which opens up the possibility of manifesting our dreams. It's a really beautiful protective stone. It protects the aura. It's very healing. It can connect you to your intuition. It can connect you to mystery. It's a very esoteric stone. So if there's any kind of, let's say you're having a lot of nightmares and you're really wanting to break through that cycle of nightmares. I get it. I have nightmares all the time. They can really plague you. So working with a stone like Labradorite can be very helpful for the protection, protecting your aura, protecting your energy, and also calling in those positive dreams, giving you some agency over it. So if you wanted to maybe have a little bit of Labradorite by your bed, if you're struggling with insomnia and nightmares, maybe your nightmares wake you up in the middle of the night and then you can't go back to sleep, maybe some Labradorite and a little bit of howlite or some Celestite, and just hold those in your hands. Maybe not a piece this big. I have another one. Yeah. That's a little smaller. So a little Labradorite in your palm, and then a little howlite in your other palm. And just imagine this energy flowing in through your palms, in through one, out through the other, in through that one, out through the other. And just really call in the properties of this stone, protection, dream work, all of that. Another thing unrelated to crystals is just to say, if you're having trouble sleeping, I was listening to a sleep doctor talking about this. It's kind of an annoying thing to hear, but just get okay with being in bed and not being asleep. My insomnia has gotten really bad lately. I don't know about you. Have you been having really bad insomnia lately? So just get comfortable with being in bed and not sleeping. I always have books near my bed, so something like that. Books that aren't going to be too activating, but that are going to be more supportive and that kind of thing can be really, really helpful. So just a thought. Now I have some clear quartz. Clear quartz is a great stone for clarity. It's an energy amplifier. So, I've heard different things about clear quartz, and I'll tell you my opinion on it, but I will share what these differing opinions and beliefs are. So some people say that if you're in a really negative state, you probably should steer clear of clear quartz because it's an amplifying stone, so it will amplify that negative energy. That being said, that's not something that I experience with clear quartz. For me, clear quartz it always amplifies positive emotions for me. It's a very positive stone, and there can definitely be different stones that have a negative energy just kind of captured within the stone. So I've definitely felt a clear quartz that had negative energy. Clear quartz is not self-cleansing. So like many of these stones I'm sharing, you do want to clear it in some way. And a way that you can clear stones is by, put that there for a second, taking the stone and just, you can use smoke. It's a pretty easy way of doing it. I do this pretty often. Usually on the full moon, I'll just come and cleanse my stones. It's very peaceful, it's a very beautiful thing to watch. Just especially with clusters and things, you can watch where the smoke kind of flows out. And we're doing some clearing, and then you want to do a little bit of charging of your stone. Keep that going there. And charging your stone you can do in a number of different ways. If it's not light sensitive, then you could put it on a windowsill, charging clear quartz in the sunlight. I love to do that. Selenite is a great one that I like to charge in the sunlight as well. Would not ever charge a celestite or an amethyst in the sunlight. Even having this amethyst out sometimes while I'm filming, and I have it in a dark corner of the room, it's still gotten bleached a little bit. So just want to be mindful of that. The sun will affect the color of your stones. So just be mindful of that. But with clear quartz, that's a great way of doing it. Charging it in the full moon would be a wonderful way of doing it. And for me, that's pretty easy. Just clearing all my stones, setting out like a wooden tray or something. And then just putting it either in a windowsill. I have a skylight in our office library room. And so that's really nice for the full moon to just charge that energy. Or if you're working with a specific day where you wanted to charge the energy, you can charge it in the moonlight. For let's say you had a really great day. Let's say you saw friends, you were connected, you did the things you wanted to do, you were able to feel really aligned in yourself, you were present with your loved ones, you took care of yourself, you were able to contribute. These days don't happen all the time, but when it does, it's great to harness that energy. Maybe you're having a day where you're feeling really, really positive, and you feel like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. I'm so excited. I could do anything. Take that energy. What we usually do, unfortunately, when we have those days, is we make a bunch of plans. We call a bunch of people. We make a bunch of promises. And I've been on the receiving end of that. And a while ago, I've definitely been on the giving end of that as well, where you start making promises because you think you're invincible and you can do anything in the world. And then you follow up with the person, whoever has reached out to you, or you see that person again, and they ask you about it, or you ask them about it. Oh, what about that plan you had messaged me about? What about that project or that idea or that travel that you mentioned? And they either don't remember making that promise because they made so many, or they feel so much shame because, oh, I didn't follow through, I lost that energy. So they're kind of going with these peaks and troughs. They're just at the whim of their own emotions. So if you're having one of those really up days, instead of doing that, cut that cycle and just take that energy and put it somewhere. Maybe you want to plan 2 different things that you're going to do. That's fine. Plan manageable, simple steps. Sustainable, simple, manageable steps. And then take the rest of that energy, maybe go for a walk, move your body, get things moving, and put that energy into a stone, because that energy is wonderful and it's great to have that available. But that's another way of charging it. Long story long, is just to take all of that vibrant, buzzing energy and just channel it into a stone. Especially if you can't sleep, just channeling the energy into a stone would be a great way of using it. So you can have clear quartz cluster, and they form in these beautiful points like amethyst. Then you can get little points, which are wonderful for focusing that energy. And so each one of these points is just taken from a larger cluster of clear quartz. really beautiful. And I have tons of clear quartz that is found nearby me. There's some that a friend gave me that she found on a walk. There are, these beautiful crystals can be found here anyway. Clear quartz is a wonderful stone of clarity. It's a great stone of manifestation as well because it helps you get clear about what you want, and it can help break through energy blockages. So this is a great one if you're feeling really stuck or stagnant. We talked about placing stones in the palms of your hands. You can do that, but you can face one point towards you and one point away if you had 2 crystal points. So you're calling that energy in and then pushing it out, and that's just a great way of clearing your energy blockages in your body. If you wanted to meditate with these stones, that could be a really powerful way of doing that. So clear quartz is also programmable, which means that you can program it to act or behave like a different stone. You could program it to act or behave like a different esoteric tool. So if you're just starting out on your journey, I would definitely suggest clear quartz. Most people have clear quartz, but that's a really helpful one for embarking on your spiritual journey, because you can, let's say you're really interested in a very rare stone or a stone that's really expensive, then you could play around with those properties without spending the money. You can just program clear quartz to act or behave like that. So most of the stones that we've been talking about so far have been really great stones for dealing with anxiety. A lot of these stones are very soothing, and these would be great for anxiety. Labradorite, Celestite, Angelite, all great for any kind of stress or anxiety. And this is Smoky Quartz, and this is a great stone for balancing depression, helping with depression. So it's a very, very grounding stone. It balances your upper chakras and your lower chakras. So it's a very balancing stone. I would say this stone, and also Shivalingam, which I have here. Shivalingam, which looks like a large pill. It's a great stone for balancing yin and yang energies. So Smoky Quartz has this beautiful color gradient of this light gray color going all the way up to sometimes a dark brown, dark gray, or even a black at the point. Very beautiful. It's a great stone for balancing our emotions. It's a very protective stone. It helps with a two-way flow of energy, so giving and receiving. Really beautiful, and this one's fun because it's self-standing and it looks kind of like a crystallized wave, just like it's pouring over. It's a gorgeous stone. I really like it. Again, a great stone for grounding, and a really powerful stone for dealing with nightmares again. So if you're really struggling with that, you could pair this with your Labradorite just to help you with those nightmares. And then you can also have a polished version of the stone. Here's this, really nice. It's starting to catch the Palo Santo in there. You can smell it right away when something catches. Okay, so here we have this polished version of Smoky. Again, you can see it's lighter at the bottom. Maybe you can't see, but it's lighter at the bottom. And it has this gradient and gets up, and it's a darker kind of grayish brown at the top. This one almost has, it's a very warm gray. It almost has like a amber quality to it a little bit. It's really beautiful. And it always just, it's fun to look inside of these clear stones that aren't perfectly clear, that have just, they have a lot of character, I think. So this is a great one. If you're feeling depressed, just kind of connecting with this stone can be supportive for you. So that's another really powerful healing stone. Now, I probably have more versions of this stone than any other stone. This is an amethyst. I have 2 large clusters of amethyst, and I don't have many of the same clusters of stones, so I tend, if I have one cluster, I usually don't have another one. Maybe I'll have a different version of that, but I have 2 clusters of amethyst, so you kind of know that I love it. It's just gorgeous. I think it's so sparkly. It's so magical. It's a great stone for spiritual alignment, channeling spirit. It's a great stone of clarity of mood, clarity of mind, clarity of emotion. It's a great stone of sobriety. They call it this sobriety stone, and it's used in, programs and rehab centers and stuff like that for that. But this is a bit of a larger cluster. I mean, the cluster itself isn't large, but the actual stones are quite large. That's beautiful. And then this one has a bunch of tiny little tiny amethyst points. And it just creates this sparkly, gorgeous quality. It's a great stone for meditation. Again, it can enhance your visions. It's a wonderful stone for spiritual awareness, for enhancing your intuition. And how pretty is this one? It's like a little plate, kind of. This is a really gorgeous stone. It has that raw backing, as you can see. Very beautiful. It's a wonderful stone if you wanted to take your jewelry and place it on there to charge your jewelry. Like that. At the end of the day, just place it on there. So this one is just beautiful. It's got a very serene quality to it. I think if you're going to start with any stone, you should start with the stone that speaks to you. Whichever stone feels exciting to you, fine. I'll leave links below. I'm now affiliated with Etsy, but this isn't a sponsored video or anything. But so I'll share with you different shops where I've purchased crystals for all of these stones, so that you have a place that reputable, like grade A crystals and gemstones shop. So I'll link those down below so that you can check them out and just sort of see if which one you resonate with, and then just maybe try and get just a small stone, or you could start with something big if that really excites you. It's just whatever excites you, whatever turns you on and makes you feel alive when you look at it. So for me, I love amethyst. I think Labradorite is another one that gets people going, because you can notice those little flashes and you like to connect with the magic of that. But whatever is exciting to you, but I would take a little amethyst. So what I was going to say is, the first stone you should get if you haven't started your collection is just whichever stone you feel resonant with, you feel excited by. But if you're still feeling lost or you don't know where to start, I would start with an amethyst probably. I think amethysts are just really wonderful. If you don't really know how to work with this stone, just take a few minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, at the beginning of your day. Hold the stone and just set an intention for your day while you hold the stone. Think about your power, your magic, your inner magic. Put all that energy into the stone and just sit with it for a moment. 2 minutes. You can time it. But just connecting in that way can be really, really helpful. And amethyst is just great. Serenity, clarity, spiritual awareness, emotional balance. It's great. Okay, so I have a lot more stones that I want to go over with you, but I'm going to save those for another video. Thank you so much for joining me. This was really fun. So let me know if this is the type of video that you'd like to see more of. I'm more than happy to create more crystal videos. And I know that one of you had suggested or requested, I guess, that I do this in a whispered format. So let me know if that's something that you would like. Maybe I can attach a microphone to me so that you can, like a little lav mic, so that you can hear the whispering. And yeah, because you're a little farther away from me than usual. So anyway, I hope you're doing really, really well. I'm sending you so much love and support. I'll leave links for all of these stones down below so that you can get them, try them out. You can try out big versions, small versions, polished versions, pointed versions, raw versions. You can try out spherical versions. You can try out palm stones or little mini gemstones to create a tiny little grid, however you feel empowered to do it. Another thing to know about crystals is that, let's say you're working with your moon cycles and you're writing down all of your manifestations on the new moon, and you're writing down things you want to clear on the full moon. You can fold that paper up, or if you have it in a notebook or something like that, that's fine. And then you can just choose which stone you want to use to amplify the properties that you're trying to call in or to clear. So for example, if you wanted to call in more grounding, you could use the Smoky Quartz. Fold that piece of paper, place the Smoky Quartz on top of it so that all of your manifestations are going to be really grounded, so that all of this is going to be protected. So you're taking the qualities of this stone and really imbuing all of your manifestations with that quality. So with the Smoky Quartz, you're grounding it in the here and now in the earthly plane. Let's say you want to clear nightmares or clear depression. You can use the Smoky Quartz as well on the full moon, let's say, to use the stone to really clear that. So just something to note. I could talk about this forever, as you can tell. I could just sit here and nerd out with you about stones forever because I love crystals. They're so beautiful. Like flowers, gifts from the universe. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or your night. Take really good care of yourself. Take good care of each other. And until we meet again, which will be very soon, be so well. Hello, my lovely, lovely patrons. This session is going to be all about just like sending love into the hands. Our palms are these like entry and access points for so many different energies to flow in. So doing Reiki hand massages I find really helpful. So soothing. So I'm just going to be sending this energy towards you. I love using things from nature to send healing energy. You know I love using things like driftwood, stones, all the earthly elements. I love using water as a healing element. Good. So sending that love towards you, and see if you can just maybe breathe it in. Fill yourself up with that gorgeous, loving energy. Imagine the aroma just swirling in and flowing all through your body. Which can be directed and channeled with laser-like precision to help you accomplish tasks and achieve objectives. Cool. This is going to be a really powerful time for you. 2 super empowering cards. You have this fiery energy, and you have like the earth and the roots and the ancestors. It's like star and earth and fire. Find as comfortable a position as you can. Maybe close your eyes. You could lie down, whatever feels right for you. And let's begin today with gratitude. Whatever position you find yourself in, bring to heart one thing for which you are grateful.